Hi, I'm Sharon, and this is episode 23 of the Sampler Style Floss Tube. Hi everybody, and welcome to episode 23. It's been a few months since I recorded. I have a good excuse for 2023. My family had a very hard 2023. I'm gonna do a 2-minute brief update as to why, because I really try to focus on stitching in this channel and not my personal life, but I thought I would just do a quick 2-minute update. If you want a longer update, you can check out my other channel, which is Knit Style on YouTube, and I go into a little more detail. But anyway, in June of 2023, my husband had a cancer diagnosis. Not a fun cancer at all, but he was treated with a new drug, not chemo. He was treated with immunotherapy, and he is cured. Gonna be, it's gone. It's crazy. And then with me, I think all the stress from all of that brought on, I have this weird, rare disease. It's called LADA. It stands for Latent Adult Onset Type 1 Diabetes. Runs in my family. My brother had type 1 diabetes. He passed away at the age of 21, most likely due to complications from that. So, yeah, I am 67 years old. I was 66 when I got it, and it's not been fun at all. I'm still struggling with it, but it'll get there. I just have a weird case. So I have a little pet. It's my insulin pump. It's stuck to my leg today. I'm doing okay. I'm sure some of you can relate. So that's that. So I'm dealing with that, but I'm okay. So we were dealing with that in 2023, which was bad enough. And then I found out in November that our 28-year-old son needed brain surgery for a very large, benign tumor, thankfully. It's a meningioma. It's benign, but it's hard to describe. It's an unusual meningioma because he's a cancer survivor from leukemia, and the tumor was most likely caused by radiation that he had had when he was 3 years old. So he had this. So to top everything off, our son had brain surgery on December 18th. He's fine. He's doing unbelievably well. He came home the next day. What? They opened their head. He was treated by one of the top surgeons probably in the world. He's amazing. We live near a major metropolitan area, so we were very lucky to find this surgeon. He was incredible. He made me feel at ease, as much as you can feel at ease when your kid is having brain surgery. But it took about 6 weeks for him to feel better. He felt better. He was fine. He's back to himself. But, he had a lot of brain fog, headaches, all that stuff, for a while. But he's doing really, really well. He's pretty much back to himself. He has to be really careful. So he's going back to work at the end of the month. It's February right now. So about 2 months out of work, because he has a physical job. So, but oh my goodness, how crazy is that? Probably a little more than 2 minutes, sorry. But anyway, so that's what I've been dealing with. And I just haven't had the motivation to record. I also have a small yarn dyeing business that I haven't worked on as much as I would like to, because I just don't have the headspace for it. But I'm getting there. I started it back up again after the first of the year. I recorded my first episode after the first of the year. It would be in full swing, except we are traveling. We are going on a cruise. Thursday in like, we're going in 3 days. So I'm very excited about it. And we're going to have a great time and we're not going to worry about all this stuff. So yeah, that's probably the most life updates you'll ever get from me. Because I really just want to talk about stitching. So let's get right into stitching. So I've been doing quite a bit of stitching because it does relax me. So today what I'm going to do is, I'm basically just going to show you what I've been working on since I last talked to you. So it's basically like my active WIP parade. Most of them are active. No, only 2 of them. Only really 1 of them, because I'm a monogamous stitcher really at heart. But anyway, so let's get started. So I have a finish. Oh my goodness. I finished Away We Ride. Yeah, I did. Amidst all of this craziness, I finished it. So how exciting is that? I just, like I said, I like to really just stitch on one thing at a time. I force myself to stitch a little bit more on other things, but when I have a focus piece, it's really all I want to stitch on. And even though this one was not the most fun stitch in the world, I did okay with it. So here she is. Look how beautiful this came out. This is Away We Ride by Blackbird Designs. I stitched it on Lakeside Vintage Autumn Gold, 36 count, with all the called for. Let me give you some close-ups, because I like close-ups when people show their stitching, so yeah. I cannot say that this was a fun stitch. Dare I say, I had to, well, once I got into it, I saw that I was going to finish it pretty quickly, and I did. So here's the threads. And she's just beautiful. I didn't make any modifications. It's a beautiful chart. I got a little bogged down in that border. I don't really like stitching borders. I do it because I think they're beautiful, but I don't like stitching them. I'm not sure why, but this border is a pain in the neck to do. Oh, and the colors. Okay, so I did it with all the called for, but I had a dye lot issue. And when I started this piece, I was a fairly new stitcher, so I didn't realize I was going to run out of yarn. But my Garden Gate, which is Gentle Art Garden Gate, which is this Pussy Willow brown right here. I bought more because I was running out, and I don't know if this is going to show up, but my original Garden Gate was much more like gray, warm brown. And what I got when I ordered it again was almost black. So you can see, this is the one I got. It's very dark, very different from the one that I started with, which was not cool for me. I see color really well, and I'm a yarn dyer. So if anything's off, it drives me insane. So I ordered some more Garden Gate from a different seller, and it matched better than what I had, but I had to fussy cut it a little bit. No, I fussy cut it a lot. So, but you can't really tell. So my original is on this bird's back. It's a much warmer brown gray than what I had. So I finished off with, see how this one's a little bit lighter, this one. But you know what, it doesn't matter. Even though they don't quite match, for this piece, it really doesn't matter. But I didn't want it to be that real black brown color. I mean, this is really dark. And so, but I love how it came out. Here she is once again. Away We Ride by Blackbird Designs. And she's gorgeous. So I will send her off to the framer when I have some more finished pieces. All right, I'm hoping to get at least one more, possibly two, in 2024. So we'll talk about that. So after I finish that, I'm like, oh, cool. Let's finish off some other pieces that I need to finish. So I started working on this piece, which is Modern Folk Embroideries 2022 stitch along. I think it was 2022. Beautiful. Beautiful. So this is on 40 count Picture This Plus Fawn, and I used needlepoint ink silk in black. One of their blacks. They have a bunch of blacks. And this is absolutely gorgeous. I show it all the time. And what I worked on here this time was this Tree of Life right here. Beautiful, really fun stitching. I love stitching with one color. I love stitching with black, as you will see in some things I'm going to show you. So, yeah. It's big. Real big. I'd love to finish it. I only have this little bit left, this one corner. So I would love to finish her in 2024. And yeah, I'm on my way. I'll get to it. You'll see what distracted me in a minute. Okay, next piece. Oh, by the way, before we move on, I switched my set, my recording set. I was recording this way. I'll show you. I'll take a video on my phone of the other way. I used to record the opposite way of my room. So you can kind of, I'm just going to, so I recorded that way. Now I'm recording this way. And the reason I'm recording this way is because it's just easier for me to leave everything set up. Like I have my nice big light here, another light, and yeah. So what I'm doing is I'm just changing my background a little bit. If you watch my other show, I have more knitting things for that show, and then I just put some of my past finishes, seasonal ones, you know, like I have a couple of Christmas ones up there. I have a couple of Halloween ones up there. So anyway, yeah, little set change. Okay, next piece is Florence Mary Dickenson by Hands Across the Sea. I started this last year and did like one page. I did one page. And I stopped. I love the look of this. here she is. And I picked it back up this year, and I just did this piece of the border. And I'm trying to figure out, why don't I want to stitch on this? And I know why. I ordered this as a kit from Hobby House Needleworks, and look how beautiful. This is the Tabby Cat linens called for, I forget the name of it, but it's the linen, it's the called for linen. And I love the linen. It's beautiful. It's not too mottled. It's a little bit mottled, but not bad. It's 46 count. I don't like stitching at 46 count. I can see it just fine. It's slow for me. I'm a two-handed stitcher, so I have a frame that I put this in. It holds the hoop, and I just stitch two-handed. That's how I like to stitch. And I see it perfectly fine. For some reason, it's just slow because the stitches are so tiny. And I don't like it. So I thought about restarting it. I have other linen I could start this on. I have a beautiful piece of dirty teacup by Needle and Flax this would look beautiful on. But I don't want to waste this linen. So I think I'm just going to try and stay with it and hope my eyes adjust. Well, my eyes and my hands adjust. So I've been watching Katie Strachan. She's amazing. And she had some suggestions for 46 count to use a smaller beading needle. So I ordered them, tried them, hated them. So I'm using a Peacemaker 28, which is my go-to. The beading needle was just so teeny and it made it even worse. You know, I have a hand disease. Look at that. So I'm pretty good. Like, I have really good fine motor, but those little needles did not work for me at all. So I'm gonna give it a go. Maybe not this year. I don't know. We'll see. I have other things that distracted me, which you are going to see coming up. Next is a new start. I don't remember if I had started this the last time I recorded. If I did, I apologize. But I got a lot done. So this is Mary Ann Copp, 1839, by Brenda Gervais. And I love stitching on this. So over the summer, I finished this entire bones of the border. I sat outside at my closed pool. We never opened our pool last year because we didn't know if my husband was going to be able to take care of it, so we didn't open it. But I sat outside next to it and I stitched all that border. And then, yeah, I got a little bit of, about half of the top border done. The outline of the cartouche, and then some of these motifs on the side. I just finished this beautiful flower basket. I kept calling it a berry bowl. It's not a berry bowl. It's a flower basket, because look at the flowers. And then underneath, berries would be more concentrated. Underneath that, there's like there's a basket. So it's a flower basket. So here are all the threads. I'm using all the called for because I love these colors. Here it is. So these are all the called for colors. And my linen is 40 count Schooner by LFA Linens. Now, Sue is my friend, and she's not dyeing linen right now. She's dyeing yarn. She's a fellow yarn dyer. But she will eventually start dyeing linen again, and you'll be able to get some of her beautiful colors. But I loved this color because it's just a light gold, and I wanted to match the photograph of the sampler, and it matches really, again, me with the colors. I think I matched it really well. I'm really happy with this, how it looks. It's so bright and cheery. It's really, really pretty. So, yeah. I love stitching on 40 count. I mean, 36 count is cool too, but just 40 count is my sweet spot. And like I said, I've been watching a lot of Katie Strachan. I got distracted from, and she talked a lot about silk, and you guys recommended her silk video to me, which I hadn't seen yet last time, and I watched it. Amazing. So she talked about the differences in silk, and her preferred silks are filament silks. I'm the same. NPI is filament silks, which are made from the one long strand from the cocoon. These silks are for this sampler. These are the 103s. These are not filament silk. They're lovely. I really like these. She was talking about how they are a tighter twist. They're so pretty. I'd like to get back to this because just the colors are just gorgeous. Yeah, I love stitching with silk. This is actually not silk. This is cotton. And I like cotton on 40 count as well. That was my point. So, cotton, 103s probably would be okay. NPI, that's my sweet spot on 40 count. I love stitching with NPI. Me and Kathy Barrick, she loves it too. It's lovely silk. So Katie likes to stitch with Swag Goblin, and I believe that is a filament silk, and I'm dying to try it. And in her latest video, she's going to offer kits and a class on a sampler that she's designed, and I'm going to take it because I like learning new things, and I think it would be incredible. It's an online class, I believe. So if you watch her latest video, shout out to Katie Strachan. You can sign up. You can sign up with your email and be notified when that class starts. I signed up immediately because I would love to dive into the world of Swag Goblin. If they're probably just as nice, maybe nicer than NPI silks. So I'm pretty excited about that. And it's not for a while. She needs time to write everything up and, get the class going. And I don't expect it to start for another 6 months or so, maybe longer. Speaking of NPI silk, oh my gosh. This is what got me watching Katie's videos, this project right here. I was bitten by a bug, or I'm not sure, I got a wild hair, whatever. I'm working with this NPI Hank, and I started this crazy massive project. I started AKGIT by Modern Folk Embroidery. Look at this. You guys, this thing is so addicting. It is taking all my time, all my stitching time, all of it. I love it. I'm almost done with the first column of this. I'll show you the whole thing. I love Jacob Modern Folk Embroidery's patterns because they're, you can get all of them in PDF, and I put them right into Markup RXP on my iPad. This is AKGIT. It's a lot. It's like 75,000 stitches. No more than a long dog, though. I mean, I have a long dog, and I looked up the stitch count, and that's like 69,000. So I'm here. I'm doing this column right here. So I decided rather than go across, I decided to go down because to keep from getting bored, because these ones that are all across are similar in nature. They're not the same pattern, stitches, motif. They're not the same motif, but they're all kind of similar in each row, similar type of stitching. So I decided to do them this way so as not to be bored. And I'm really happy with that decision. These ones at the top are the biggest ones, and then they just get a little smaller as you go. And then you got ones around, you got some letters, which gives you a little relief from the big motifs. And it's so fun. And there's really not that much border stitching, which is amazing. It's got a top border. It is so, when I first saw this on Jacob's original video about this, I looked at that and I'm like, that looks like a bunch of blobs. But it's so not. It's just, it's really trees of life and medallions, a bunch of, and letters, and I could not be more smitten with it. It's so beautiful. It's so fun to stitch. I'm going to show you one more time. So, let's talk about what I'm using. This piece of linen, I ordered it last summer. It's R&R, I think it's Brenda's, it's either Brenda's Brew or Winter Brew. It came last summer and I was going to use it for something else. It's a fat half, obviously, because this thing is huge. I was going to do another modern folk embroidery project on it, and I started it. And I think it would look great, but this would look better. Again, I like to match colors, you know. I mean, this is kind of a warm, the original looks like it's on a nice warm fabric, so yeah. Again, it's 40 count. And I almost had a disaster with this piece of fabric. So I told you I was stitching outside by my dead pool that we didn't open last summer. And I had my stitching in a tote bag. And somehow I must have spilled my water bottle in the tote bag, because this piece of linen was basically, I thought, ruined. It had a giant water stain right smack dab in the middle. Like a huge, like water, looked like coffee had spilled on this thing. It looked horrible. So it was, but you couldn't even use it for a small project because it was just off. It was everywhere. It was all up and down this middle. So I said, well, this is already ruined. I'm going to wash it. So I washed it by hand, and I just used a little Dawn dish detergent, which is what I use to wash all my yarn when I dye it. I washed this by hand, and it came out. The color totally evened out. It's probably a little lighter than what it originally was, but it's still gorgeous, and it's perfect for this. And I washed it out before I started this project, obviously. So the color I'm using, Jacob had recommended, he worked with Roxy Floss Co. for a cotton floss, and it's in like a very deep, deep, deep brown. I've never seen it in person, but NPI has the Burnt Umber range in color 588, which is a very, very deep brown, almost black. And that's what I'm using. And it is, I think it's gorgeous. I think it's perfect, dare I say. So I ordered two skeins. I ordered 2 hanks of it. And I think I'm going to order another one. I ordered directly from NPI. They are lovely. Oh my goodness. So nice. They have a Shopify store, like I do. What wonderful customer service. I would normally order from Colorado Cross Stitcher, but she didn't have this in stock, so I just went to NPI's website and they had it. So I ordered 2 skeins, and I have the other one wound into a ball. So I had never worked with a hank of silk, and I thought, I don't want to tangle it up, you know. I work with yarn all the time, though, that is wound just like this. So I used my Yarn Swift. I'm going to show you what my Yarn Swift looks like. That is it right there. That's my Yarn Swift. It's a professional Yarn Swift. I use it for my business. And I have over here, a yarn winder. So that's my yarn winder, and that is a Swift, in case you're not a knitter. So I put this on my Swift, and I wound it into a cake. And then it's silk, so the cake just kind of fell into itself. So what I did was I took the outside of the cake and I wound it into a ball, and it's perfect. I just measure out 18 inches, cut it, and then I pull from that 18-inch piece, and it's awesome. Love it. But I think I'm going to order another hank of this because I'm definitely going to run short. I have some skeins of this, but they're not the same dye lot, so I have to just make sure she has the same. It's not going to matter. I stitched this part with a different dye lot. You can't tell. I could see the difference in the skein when I held it up, but that's because of my color eye. I see color, you know, pretty intensely, so, but it's fine. Anyway, so I had ordered those 2 hanks, and then I had been wanting their color card. So NPI has a color card, and I showed you this last time. This is DMC's color card, and it's fantastic. I love it. Like, I'm not going to design cross stitch, but I might change colors, and rather than run to Joann's and, you know, do color conversions in their terrible lighting, I'd rather use this color card. So DMC, love their color card. It's amazing. Well, I have been wanting Needlepoint ink color card, and they had them. So after I ordered this, I found this on their website, and I just messaged her. I sent a message through their website, and I said, do you have, can I add this color card to my order? And she said, absolutely, no problem. So nice. And she put this, she just charged me, with my account, and oh my goodness. This is the actual silk. It's not cheap. I'll link it down below because it's kind of hard to find on her site. I didn't think she had it, and then I found it. But it's not a cheap color card. It's expensive, but this was my Christmas present to myself. So, look. Oh my goodness. I'm obsessed. Because as much as I love DMC, love it, sometimes I just want to stitch with MPI. And then this is going to make it so easy to do conversions because I have my both color cards and I can match colors. And I'm very excited about it. So, yeah, that's my haul. I don't really do haul in this channel. I will show you stuff as I start working with it. I don't buy like a lot. Like last year I bought a huge kit that I will show you on my next show. And like just odds and ends. You've seen them all. I've shown them all like intermittently because I'll start them and just show you. So yeah, I don't really have a big haul every week. It's not that. I'm just trying to pare things down. I spent the month of January purging my house. I do it pretty much every year. Last year I didn't do it, so it needed it. And bags of donations. And then my son, being home, said, Mom, can you help me clean my room? Yes, I can. I will help you clean your room because I love purging. So we, cleaned his closet, cleaned all his drawers, and yeah, so amazing. So anyway, okay, so the only other thing I worked on, I had another new start, and my husband and I went to Walt Disney World a week and a half before my son's surgery. The doctor said, go have a good time. I'm like, okay. He said, he'll be fine. We wouldn't have even ever known about this. He had no symptoms. They found it because he had an ear, nose, and throat issue, and they did a CAT scan and it showed up. So we wouldn't have known about it anyway. So it's crazy. So I have a bag. I don't use a lot of projects. I just had these travel stitching. I just was organizing and put all my travel stitching in this bag. So my husband and I went to Walt Disney World, and we're DVC members, and we had a lovely time. We stayed at Bay Lake Tower in a 1-bedroom apartment, I guess, and it was awesome. And I had enough room to set up like a little stitching set table. I'll put a picture in there. And I started this. This is Reindeer Games by Kathy Barrick. See, I could have converted this to NPI. But I had all the DMCs already in my stash, and I said, I'm just going to use DMC. And I'm very happy with them. I think it's beautiful. So I did all of this on my vacation. Like, it was a very chill trip to Disney. basically just eating and walking around, enjoying ourselves. I mean, Disney is what you make it. You could make it a crazy vacation, but we go there a lot, so yeah, so cute. Those cute little deer. Love it. So I have grand plans to work on this the 25th of every month, so I can almost finish it for next year. Am I going to do that? I didn't in January because I was obsessed with AKGIT, so I don't know. We shall see. Oh my goodness. I have other stitching in here. I'm not going to show you that, so I'll show you that next time because I'll do a full WIP parade next time. This is just my active WIP parade, I guess. Stuff I've touched since I talked to you last. So, yeah, I think, oh, so plans. So 2024, here's my book of days. Now, I'm not a paper person. You guys know that. I could keep track of my stitching digitally. No, can't be bothered. So I just scratch in the in the book of days. I have horrible handwriting. So I don't sticker. I mean, a little maybe, but yeah. This is basically, I try to write down just your basic information, you know, what I worked on AKGIT, how many stitches I worked on, how much I have left. So, yeah, let's see. How much do I have? I'm about 16% complete on AKGIT, but I'm trying to write it in every day, just cursorily write in it, not any big deal, but just keeping track of things. I started AKGIT at the end of December because I just fell in love with it. And that's when I started watching a lot of Katie's videos, Katie Strachan, because she's working on it. And hers is gorgeous. She's stitching it on 56 count, which apparently people say is easier to stitch on than 46 count. I don't know. Is it? Let me know. I'm not sure. Hers is so beautiful. She's stitching on it with, I think she's stitching it with Soie because it's such a fine linen, and Soie is a very fine, fine silk. And she's doing a brown green. It doesn't really show up in her videos great as a brown green, but the spool shows up really well. So, really cool. I love hers. So fun. Okay, just a couple more things to talk about. I started Modern Folk Embroidery's 2024 sampler. Let's see. I have it in here. Here's the sampler. I think it's called No Time Like the Present. I love it. And I wanted to use these exact same colors because it looks very Norwegian to me. Even though it's not. I mean, it's his original design, and he's Dutch. So, I think it's gorgeous. It has 14,000 stitches, which isn't bad, really. No, it's got more than that. I think it's got 30,000. This is not correct. I think it's 14,000 in each color. Maybe it's 7,000. I'm not sure. I'd have to look it up, but I'm not looking it up now. So I started it when it first got released, because he released it right away. And then I put it aside because I got obsessed with AKGIT. But it's beautiful. I love it. So my colors are, they're NPI, of course. So I am using color 504 for the red. And this is when I started this before I got the color card. This is when I could have used the color card because I didn't know from online what navy to get. but I'm happy with it. So this is color 749, French Blue Range, and 504 Chinese Red Range. So those are the colors. They're beautiful. And so now that I have this out, I have such a strong desire to work on it. Maybe I will tonight. So it's really, really beautiful. The last thing I want to talk about is a project that has been overdue to get finished. This project will be finished in 2024, unless something dire happens to me. Because there's not that much left. I ripped something out. I'm still ripping it out. I ripped out a flower because it wasn't even. I probably could have left it, but that's not how I roll. So this is Ann Gott. It's almost done. Look at it. So beautiful. So this flower is even with the grass, but this flower was off. So I'm just about done ripping it out, and I will restitch that and then figure out what I want to do here, because I'm not putting in the words. I'm probably going to just stick some more motifs in there. Maybe carry these across and call it a day. This is beautiful, and it needs to be finished and framed. It needs to go with Away We Ride and the Modern Folk Embroidery Angel Sampler, which is what I'm calling it. And those three I'm hoping will go off to the framer this year, and they will get framed. My other one, AKGIT, I'm hoping to finish that this year, because that is my focus piece. I can't keep my hands off it. But that's a lot, so we'll see. If I don't finish it this year, it's fine. I'll get it done. But I'm hoping over the summer. That these are the threads. I had to order extra thread of this too, because I stitch it on 36 count, and I think it was originally stitched on 46. I was short of those greens because you use a lot of green in that sampler, so it's fine. Luckily the dye lot was okay. So yeah, that's the only other thing, and that is it for my active WIPs for the year and my future plans. That's basically what I'm going to be doing for 2024, is all of what you see. So I hope to see you in a couple of weeks. I'd like to record toward the end of February when I get back from my cruise, and at that point I will show you. I'm going to do a WIP parade. I don't have that many. Aside from these, I probably have 10 more, maybe not even. I don't know. I don't count them, but it's not a huge amount. Because like I said, I'm not a real big stasher or starter. You know, I'm average, and it's fine. And I'm very, very happy with my stitching right now. I'm thrilled with what I'm getting done. So, all right. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for sitting through my crazy, weird family health story. I know I'm not alone. A lot of you have crazy family health stories too. So, and I hope you are all okay. I hope that 2024 is going to be great for you. It's going to be great for me. That's what I'm saying. I'm sticking to it. So, have a great couple of weeks. Stitch something beautiful, and cheers!